Last week, we saw a fun and clean race. Drivers began to experiment with one another, and others were just getting comfortable. But tonight, we're here really getting down to it. The Glytch Truck Series takes to Sin City for round number 2 on the calendar. I am Emerson Arden, my good friend and colleague Landon Cardulo, alongside myself in the virtual booth this evening, and we're excited to be bringing you live coverage from the virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway here on the iRacing.com motorsports simulations platform. Landon, last week we saw Dean Brummett come out of nowhere to steal the show in Daytona, but this week, being that we're in Las Vegas, we're going to be talking about a different kind of luck when it comes to getting it done tonight.
Yeah, man, oh man, oh man, what a beautiful evening here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Here at the infamous Las Vegas Motor Speedway with bankings only 20 degrees on the turns. I mean, they're completely different compared to what we were at last week with 31 degrees. This track is not your normal mile-and-a-half track. I mean, we're going to see 4 wide, 3 wide. We're going to see full throttle through the whole turns without braking, anything like that. It's like we're at Daytona, but a mile-and-a-half form.
Absolutely. I don't think there's any better way to do to kind of describe what we're gonna see here tonight than it is maybe just another kind of plate track racing round. Let's get down to it, Landon. Drivers are out there on the track. They're getting down to business. Qualifying is underway, and this is gonna be our first time seeing a true qualifying session this season, besides the pole qualifying we had down for the duels. But here we are, Las Vegas qualifying is underway, and we can take a look at it. Looks like we got Justin Michael here top of the charts. We got 6.5 minutes left in qualifying, but it's JBR at top of the board right now.
Yeah, and this is one of those tracks, Emerson, that you just gotta keep it clean, just like Daytona 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry. It's all about patience. I mean, you wanna make sure that you got clean air, and you want to make sure that you don't get in anybody's messes, because it is a very, very fast track. And like I said, it's not Daytona, but it's very equivalent to Daytona, as you could see the drivers going full throttle through these turns. I mean, they're on edge at the moment.
Absolutely. Landon Lacey now doing some wonders here. Did not make it last time out into the race at Daytona, so he's making his first start on the season tonight, minus the dual start, and it's Landon Lacey coming across the line, and that time Lacey will place it. Looks like it'll go 6th position for the 54 machine.
Yeah, and Landon Lacey's one of them guys that been in the sport for quite a bit. Everybody knows who he is, especially the veterans of this league. Super fast guy. We both share the same name, spelled differently, so I'm better than that. No, no, he's a great guy, and he's a very respectful racer. So good to see him back.
Absolutely glad to have Landon Lacey back in the Speed Racing Network bracket here, and let's take a look at Sean Jensick. Last time out, he had a rough going at Daytona, being the only driver to not see the checkers there at Daytona. So here is the 29, Sean Jensick, looking to put a different kind of flavor in people's mouths when we talk about the number 29 machine this week.
Yeah, absolutely, Emerson. And Sean's one of them guys that no matter where he starts, no matter where he's at on track, you'll always see him in the front no matter what lap it is. And unfortunately, last week at Daytona, had a little bit of troubles, ended up getting into an incident in which nobody wants to be in, and unfortunately didn't get to see the checkered flag, as he said. But he's one of them guys that's fast and he's smart, so there's nothing to worry about him if you're a Sean Jensick fan.
Absolutely. And getting down to it, Sean Jensick, his first time on the board. Where does that put him? He'll be 19th quickest. Lane Hosler jumps up to 8th there, putting Jensick down to 20. Now outside the top 24 of a 29 machine. 22nd quickest, not the best time, but being that this is a plate track similar style here, Landon, we're seeing drivers that are maybe putting all their eggs into the basket for lap 2.
Yeah, Emerson, absolutely. It's going to be difficult. I mean, we did mention it. It is plate style racing, but it isn't as wide as Daytona. So passing is going to be a little harder than most, but you also got to make sure what line you want to be in because the outside definitely works at this track. This is a multiple groove track, so it's just being smart. You got to be smart with it, and you got to go where the momentum's going.
Absolutely. And so now we'll go ahead and we'll see if we can grab a look with, how about our boy in the number 17 machine, Reese Schaefer. Moment to get there. There we go. Driver number 17, Reese Schaefer, and look like he's wrapped up his attempt. So who will we catch up with? Byron McDonald in the number 24 machine. This is another driver that we are glad to see returning to SRN competition, and Byron out here run the high side lap 1.
Yeah, Byron is definitely a class act. Always had respect for everybody on and off the track. Super great guy. Definitely one of the guys that he's been around for a while. He makes his name for himself, especially with his speed and his way to maneuver throughout the race. So definitely good to see him back.
Absolutely. And Byron running high of that first lap now drops it down to the bottom side. Now we'll really see what this 24 is made of. Byron working his way down to the bottom of turns number 3 and 4. And he'll open up the wheel, keep that pedal down on the floor. And this time by for Byron McDonald in the 24 machine, he'll go 21st quickest. So some work to do for the number 24, but nothing too crazy.
And
yep, go for it.
And it's like we're comparing apples to apples here. I mean, if you're looking at the qualifying time, and we got everybody just right on top of each other. So it's definitely one of them tracks where, like I mentioned, wide open, but you can shave off a little bit of time depending on what lane you choose. You can go high, you can move to the middle lane. And it also, the biggest thing is your out lap. When you're coming off a pit road, getting ready to start your lap, you want to make sure that you build as much speed and warm up those tires as much as you can, just to get a little extra grip in there, to have that short of a time. And like you can see, I mean, we got 30.55, 30.56, 5.8, 5.8. I mean, these guys are running identical lap times.
Absolutely. And that's what we're talking about when we talk about the plate track aspect of tonight's race. That it's gonna look like that for a lot of these guys tonight. Just really, really close in qualifying, and now we're talking about, you know, seconds now towards the end of the session here. Looks like our session is pretty much coming to a close as Westwood, the final driver, to set time there. And so, Landon, it's JBR at the top at the end of qualifying tonight.
Yeah, we saw him take the last 3 spots, you know, or at Daytona, and they're on a roll right now. And they have, I believe, 3-4 drivers in the top 10 during qualifying. It's a very good start.
So we'll grab a look at the teams real quick, then we'll run through our starting lineup just to kind of refresh y'all on who is all where in terms of our teams this evening. Taking a look there. There's Elite Satellite Esports. We're just kind of breezing through them. We'll get right back to the track and get through our starting lineup before too long here. There you can kind of see everyone kind of... Oh, this is, I believe, for the Zegos Xfinity Series. That's out of date anyway. But we're back here at Las Vegas. And let's go ahead and go through our starting lineup for tonight's race. And of course, it was driver of the number 66, Mr. Bobby Anderson, starting on the pole position this evening. Starting second will be the 31 of Dean Brummett. Starting third will be the 27 of Gabriel Ellison. Fourth will be the 13 of Justin Michael. Starting in fifth will be the 35 of Bradley Brandon. Sixth will be the 29 of Sean Zenzik. Starting 7th, the 51 of Cole Martin. Starting 8th, the 77 of Michael Politis. Row number 5, it'll be Joshua Balliet. In the 7 machine, Kyle Gilbert. In the number 58, Landon, take us to 20th.
In 11th, we got Landon Lacey. Good to see him up there. 12th, we got Lane Hosler. 13th, Ryan Johnson. Starting 14th, familiar face Brad Herman. Rounding out the top 15, we got Brian McAvoy. 16th, Doc Holliday. 17th, Kyle Westwood. P18, Reese Schaefer. 19th, Austin Purnell. And rounding out the top 20 is Al Hewins.
Kind of rounding out our grid this evening, we'll take a look at the 21 machine, Devin Zimmerman. I'm sorry, the 33 machine started in 21st, Devin Zimmerman. Byron McDonald starts in 22nd, the 24 machine. Row 12, it'll be Tyler Mark, 1 to 42. Craig Schroeder into 10. Row 13, it'll be the 3 of Gerald Poole starting 25th. The 47 of Lane Doyle starting 26th. Row 14, Jordan Sailors on the 39 machine starts 27th. Branson McCannon, 28th. And rounding out our field this evening, our point leader, Mark Morton, starts 29th in the 8 car. And Michael York, our 30 car field, will have him starting shotgun on the field this evening. Take a look at our field. Now they're on the banks here at Las Vegas, getting ready for another show similar to that we saw last week. And Landon, I'm very excited. We got to see these guys. They kind of played a little bit of a fuel mileage game last week, especially with the Xfinity Series. But tonight, I think it's going to be a little bit more chaotic. The space, it may seem a little wider, but because of the track just being a shorter length, I think the intensity is going to ramp up. Quick thoughts from you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of them races where, just like every other track, you got to get on pit road clean. If you don't, then there's your race. And being a pack racing like it is, and we saw last night, you want to make sure that you get down. So we're excited to see what's going on this race.
Well, here we go. The iRacing.com safety vehicle into the safety of pit lane. The field in the hands of Bobby Anderson, and we're racing from Las Vegas. Already plenty of jostling for position, but it's Bobby Anderson clearing out into the lead. Gabriel Ellis and Dean Brummett, 2 names we've seen fight highly in the Cup Series here in Speed Racing Network. Both of them took some time off last season. They're bringing it back to SRN, and they're running right up front at the first mile and a half on the season.
Yeah, and I kind of ate my words there. I mean, everybody got a clean, calm start, especially in the front. It doesn't look clean or calm right now, but we'll see. As a couple laps go by, everybody get some air in their tires and some heat in their tires, and everybody can be slipping and sliding around.
Absolutely. And so lap 1 is complete, and most of the field is coming here at the front, but it's really the Hornets' nest back here as we go 3 wide. Looks like Bradley Brandon nearly getting split there between what looked like Kyle Vincent Gilbert and Joshua Balliet. I'm sorry, not Balliet. That's Cole Martin on the inside. Balliet's behind in the bright purple machine. Cole Martin keeping his foot down there on the inside lane, bobbling off that yellow line as they continue to fight in front.
Yeah, if you're right in that bottom lane, you got to make sure that you do not hit that white seam, because if you hit that white seam, that thing is gonna get squirrely on you. And as we can see, I mean, the top 2 are just nose to tail at the moment, and it looks like the 31's going for the lead here.
Riding on board with Gabriel Ellison. As you take a look at it, Dean Brummett powers it down to the inside. He wants a piece of it as he throttles up down low. Dean Brummett looking to clear. Still not clear. Bobby Anderson fighting hard on the outside.
Yeah, and this is where that pack racing comes in. As you can tell, I mean, everybody's 2 by 2 by 2. And honestly, the outside is probably the best lane at this track. I mean, you get the run, you get that plenty of space between you and the wall. If I were them, that's where I would want to be, but anything can happen.
Well, here we go. Now Brummett is cleared. Bobby Anderson files into that second position. And it's the 13 of Justin Michael coming to the rescue. Wants a piece of the action, wants to get up there and duel it out with his teammate. Looks like there's a misnumbered car right there, the truck there in Gabriel Ellison, so I need to get that corrected for next week. Back here taking a look at a couple of tank racing drivers, and a 58, a little squirrely behind a 27 there, Gabriel Ellison. Everyone single file pretty much around except this gaggle of trucks. Behind Ellison, we have Kyle Vincent Gilbert, Bradley Brandon, Sean Jensick, Joshua Balliet, and Landon Lacey kind of in this little 5-truck group. Here comes Bobby Anderson once again. Anderson down on the inside.
And these guys are teammates, you know, so I wonder if Justin Michael's going to come up here and be like, hey, guys, let me get a team point too for leading this race.
That slipped my mind that Dean Brummett was a part of this JBR operation. Of course, Dean Brummett picking up right where he left off with the victory last week, but JBR was putting together a great run towards the end of last week's race. All of them kind of lined up there at the end, trying to put together a nice finish. Now they're picking right back up here. Now, it's very early. Will they be able to hang on throughout the course of a 100-lap race? We'll still have to find out.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we mentioned, it's all about being safe. I feel like if you're up front, you're in a good spot because you're kind of setting the pace for the rest of the field. And as you can see, Bobby Anderson, Justin Michael, and Dean Brummett, even the 58 of Gilbert, I mean, they're all nose to tail, and they got plenty of room behind them. So stay where you're at, make the room, and then just get where you need to be at the end of the race.
Absolutely. And now double wide throughout the top 9 is what we're working with here in the opening laps here in Sin City. Bobby Anderson, Dean Brummett, and now we ride on board with Anderson as he fights the wheel, trying to clear up in front of Dean Brummett as teammates duel it out in front. It kind of just brings everyone closer, right? I mean, it's a nice, healthy battle dynamic right here to be battling teammates and all, knowing that you're going to get that respect. But you're not going to be running away from the field in that regard either. And of course, it's going to be hard to right now at Las Vegas. But you're making each other work on their tires a little bit harder than maybe it would be if we were to sit in line.
It is, and honestly, I don't think that's going through their minds right now. I think they're just trying to fight for position at the moment and see who can lead what lap. But yeah, as we're 3 wide right now, and they're keeping in plenty of space between each other.
Yeah, this is Jensick, Lacey, and that looks like Bradley Brandon down on the inside. Lacey and Jensick, 2 names we're very familiar with in SRN. Bradley Brandon, that's a newer name to our arsenal here in SRN. But he's getting together real well with a bunch of these guys who have been here for a while, as Ellison slots himself just barely in front of the 35 machine. Here comes Lacey with a huge head of steam. Now Justin Michael comes up off the bottom. He'll jump in front of the 54 there of Landon Lacey. Ellison now is able to fight to the inside. They're still side by side up front, the JBR teammates, but Gilbert was having to peek to the inside of the 31 truck.
Yeah, this is really phenomenal racing by these guys up in the front. And if you're sitting in the back, you're kind of hoping something goes your way. But at the moment, I mean, these guys are clean. And it's good having all the teammates up here as well, just making sure that, you know, at least you got room.
Oh! The 13, Justin Michael, he's going for a slide down the inside grass. He saves it.
Wow.
Looks like Gabriel Ellison does as well, but Ellison's going to drop all the way down to running order. But nonetheless, what a catch from the field there to not all wreck right there.
Yeah, and I kind of mentioned, I mean, it was between the 2 teammates. You saw Justin Michael try to squeeze it through between Bobby Anderson and the 54. I forgot who drove it. Sorry.
That was Gabriel Ellison. He's in the 51 this week, but misnumbered, scored it to 27.
Okay, the 27. There's just not much room, and your spotter can only tell you so much. So a great job by those drivers keeping it clean, and guess what? They don't have minimal damage, so they'll be back at the end.
You know what, Landon? What I noticed as soon as that happened, the whole field is back to, most of the front runners, they singled it out real quick. they got a taste of just what could happen if you get a little too crazy here in the early going.
Yeah, they said, I'm good with that. I don't want to be a part of that. It's only lap 15.
I think tire wear is also coming into effect, but you know what this is reminding me of, Landon? This is reminding me that racing right there before the incident with Justin Michael and Gabriel Ellison, very reminiscent of what we were seeing in Atlanta this past weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's two completely different tracks, as Atlanta's actually built as more of a super speedway.
It's built for that kind of racing, for sure.
Yeah. For that racing, and it's very interesting to see us in the trucks here doing the same thing that pretty much Atlanta's doing. And if people who've watched NASCAR, I mean, when they first released the next gen car and they went to Vegas, I mean, they were racing similar like this. People were able to go side by side and pretty much keep the throttle down. But it's just really cool to see how realistic they transfer everything from real life to the sim.
Now, Landon, I want to know if you're privy to this information. What is the lap we're running to for the stage this evening?
You know,
I'm gonna guess it's 25.
I believe it's 25, but last round, let me check.
Well, as you try to figure that out, we got a battle for the lead. It's Kyle Gilbert running around the outside, and he wants to get himself his first lap led in SRN. He'll come across the line. He'll do that lap led here at Las Vegas in that 58 machine.
Yeah, and guess what? That's a bonus point. And bonus points mean everything, especially in the playoffs. I can't even tell you how many races I would love to get back with an extra bonus point. And as we're sitting there, we just got confirmation that the stage does end on lap 25.
That's what I was thinking, but I did want that double, that double down on that information. And so there we are. We do know for sure we are racing to a stage break here in about 5 or 6 laps time, I guess, at this moment. And it's Kyle Gilbert leading in front of this field over Bobby Anderson, Sean Jensick, Dean Brummett dueling it out for a third. It's Ryan Johnson and Landon Lacey. I mean, this is a stacked roster at the front of this field, Landon.
It really is, Emerson. And, you know, I'm kind of taking into effect right now, what are we going to see? I mean, the pits closed 2 laps prior to lap 25, and we know that. And who's going to be the guy that comes in, pits early, and cycles out to get, you know, in the front after the stage ends? Because there's a lot of people back there that aren't able to fight for points at the moment because they're not in the top 10. So I'm wondering if we're going to see any strategy come into play.
That's a very valid point. How much does tire wear affect drivers here at Las Vegas in a pack style race is what remains to be seen. We'll drop back a little bit and get a look at some of these battles that are kind of going on around that 10th position. Right, Lane? Remember, the top 10 earned stage points. We're looking at drivers like Lane Doyle, Austin Purnell to try to, you know, kind of regroup and get themselves into that top 10. But I don't know if they have that opportunity. Kyle Westwood, the 10th place driver right now, he's in this lead pack almost. Or he is in this lead pack. Looks like we have the 51 of Cole Martin. And we're really packing up here. Balliet getting freight trained.
Yeah, and that's the power of the outside right there. You can't really beat the run. And as you can, Balliet's doing a very good job just sticking it to the bottom, giving everybody plenty of room. Same with the person in the middle. I believe that's Westwood.
That's Westwood.
Yeah, Westwood.
And then Cole Martin up high.
Yeah, definitely making sure that they give each other a little bit of respect as well. But if I'm in the lead pack, and as you can see, looks like Cole Martin's trying to get under Westwood there. But if I'm in the lead pack and if I have a teammate that's up here in the front, I'm communicating with them. I'm asking them, hey, how's my tires? How's the car feel being in the pack? If you're running 15th, 16th, and you got somebody in second or third, I'd be asking them, because if there's not really too much of a difference, I'd be gonna try to strategize this race. Get yourself some extra points, maybe in the second stage, or maybe even have enough fuel to win the race.
Well, here we go. Some tight racing here between Brad Herman and Bradley Brandon as 1 lap to go in stage number 1. commences. Here comes the 29 of Sean Jensic wanting a piece of the action for the stage victory. Jensic trying to paint that white line to the inside of the 58 side by side down the back straightaway.
Yeah, and Jensic right now is just like, please help me. As the 38 of Johnson is going to try to make it 3 wide here to try to get that stage win, but it just doesn't look.
They all want a piece of the action, but it's Kyle Gilbert who crosses the line in first as they complete stage 1, the 58, the winner of our opening stage here in Las Vegas.
And I just want to point out, where did Sean Jensic come from? I mean, we were watching him during qualifying, and he didn't really have the type of speed that he wanted on that single car run. But he's back up here, and he just earned himself a 3rd place finish in stage 1.
Yeah, he did. That was a phenomenal run there for the 29 machine of Jensic. He's he qualified, looks like 6th. The one who's really made their gains was Ryan Johnson, who qualified 13th, up here into the 2nd position, that 38 machine.
Oops, my apologies. I must have mistaken, but still, great run for both the guys.
Nonetheless, it was a great run for everyone up here to bring it home in one piece there in that stage. But there's your stage winner, driver of the number 58, Kyle Gilbert. And we'll let these guys kind of regather their thoughts. We'll let them pit before we bring up the 58 of Kyle Gilbert here for a stage win interview. But we're gonna watch these drivers make some pit stops here, and this is where we can see that strategy landed. How valuable are tires? Well, we're about to find out.
Yeah, absolutely. And after I was talking about strategy, I saw that it was already coming to lap 25, so it didn't look like anybody tried to listen to what I was saying. But you know what? It's only stage 1. People were just trying to get as many positions, try to feel their truck out as best they could. I honestly think we'll start seeing something happen stage 2 and probably after. I mean, we got 100 laps in this race, so definitely strategy going to be involved.
So here we go, the field now coming off the pit lane and down and away. This is the race off the pit lane, and the 58 will narrowly beat the 38, or did he? It came close between Gilbert and Johnson, but there's your field off of the pit lane. And it looks like they'll give it to Kyle Gilbert in the 58 machine. So a great stage run for the 58 and a great pit stop. And I think now is a proper time to bring in the 58 of Kyle Vincent Gilbert. Congratulations, Kyle, on the stage victory. Looked like a very hectic stage from your point of view. Tell us about it. The working to the front, up 9 from where you started, and to be able to hold off, the likes of Sean Jensic and Ryan Johnson. They're coming to the checkers.
Yeah, all I could do is just hold on there to the outside and just pray it stuck. Tires started wearing out there, sliding. It was a little sketchy, but I made it work.
Absolutely. And now you, Kyle, you were really showing your muscle early here with Flying Karma Racing. The rest of your teammates are kind of in the middle of the pack. They're kind of getting the hornet's nest back there. What is the communication been like? What have you been relaying to them about your experiences, or the different experiences between you two?
Well, pretty much all I had to tell them was the outside is the way to go right now. But we'll see. See if I can get a good start here and keep that outside strong.
All right, Kyle. Well, a great stage ran from you and that number 58 machine. Best luck to you here the rest of the way. Hopefully, we're talking to you a little later on, man.
Thanks, sir.
And that's our stage 1 winner, Kyle Vincent Gilbert out of Flying Karma Racing. And yeah, glad to be able to get a word in with him, kind of get a little bit of a different point of view of what's just going on out there, Landon.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a strong performance by the 58 of Kyle Gilbert. I mean, it's kind of hard to hold off everybody. And you know what, Emerson? We don't believe in the broadcaster's curse up here. Not at all.
I don't know about that. I've had some bad ones the past few years, but go for it. The iRacing.com safety vehicle will find its safety in the pit lane, the field in the hands of the 58 of Kyle Vincent Gilbert, racing once again from Sin City. Oh, we got cars up in the fence, and oh, a truck takes a hard hit to the outside wall there off of turn number 4, and the caution is going to come out. Unfortunately, Landon, that truck that you were very optimistic for tonight, that Greta Van Fleet truck that driven by Devin Zimmerman, takes a heavy lick there in that one. Reese Schaefer also involved.
Oh man, that's very unfortunate. 2 of the tank racing guys got caught up in that. Kind of wondering what happened there. It looks like somebody got loose and it just, I don't know. Again, we've been seeing some hard hits.
Absolutely. It looked like just a whole lot went on there. And we'll try to get a look at it as we'll take a replay and see what happened. So here we are. We're looking at Devin Zimmerman, Reese Schaefer, Alb Hewins here off of turn number 2. And oh, it's Reese Schaefer that gets loose. A rare mistake out of the 17 machine, and then unfortunately the 10 truck there nowhere to go but into the side of Devin Zimmerman, Craig Schroeder clipping the 33 truck. And I mean, that is something else. We know Reese Schaefer. It's rare to see him get caught out on simple mistakes like that or cold tires like that, but unfortunate there for the 17 machine.
Yeah, that was very interesting. I haven't seen a truck like in a while snap like that, and unfortunately for the 33 of Devin Zimmerman, it looks like he's gonna have to kind of cancel some of the tour shows that he might have planned on going on, and kind of pay back Greta with buying some albums. So unfortunate events right there, though.
The 84 there of Hewins involved, and somehow a few of these guys finding a way to not really get torn up in that, but it looks like a 4-truck incident. I'm not gonna lie, Landon, this might be our biggest wreck of the season because we only had, what was it, like a 2-truck wreck at Daytona?
Yeah, it might be. And again, it's just I haven't seen a truck like that snap in so long. And as we go and we saw the replay, I mean, it looked like the 10 made it through, but I'm thinking when Devin hit Reese with the right front, it might have knocked the toe out, and I don't think Devin could have steered anywhere because it just looked like his truck was just going up, and the 10 really had nowhere to go at that point.
I want to see get an onboard here of Reese Schaefer. And right on board, here we go, inside the truck. And yeah, I mean, just snaps on him. He took what looks to be a very normal entry, but Reese Schaefer, the only one in the field to get caught out by cold tires right there. Not a usual sight out of that 17 machine.
No, absolutely not. And you saw in the in-car, and Reese tried to save it as best as he could, but it snapped on a blink of an eye. So really unfortunate for the 2 tank drivers and also the 10. Hopefully they can, I know the 10 could probably get, some damage fixed and kind of run back up there, but man, that was like you said, that was probably the biggest wreck we've had this season so far.
It seems like it, yeah. And unfortunately it catches Devin Zimmerman, Craig Schroeder, Reese Schaefer, and Michael York. Sorry, not Alp Hewins. Michael York was that 4th truck we saw involved. But that means we still have 26 clean ones as the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down in the pit lane and returns the field into the hands of the 58 of Kyle Gilbert, racing once again. One lap complete off the start, and this time it's around green. Kyle Gilbert out in front of Sean Jensick, Ryan Johnson, Landon Lacey, Dean Brummett, Cole Martin, Brad Herman, Kyle Westwood, Joshua Balliet, Bradley Brandon. I mean, here comes Jensick to the inside in the number 29 machine. Can he make the move? Jensick is ahead for the time being, but will he be able to complete the pass? Ryan Johnson wants a piece of the action. He brings his number 38 truck into the mix.
Yeah, these guys are wanting as many positions as they can, and I was going to mention that was actually a really, really clean, calm start as well. Everybody kind of tucked in line, but after a couple laps, they're like, okay, well, we're good now. Let's go for it. So that's what you see Sean Jensick doing. Same with Ryan Johnson as well.
So out in front, Jensick now attains control of this race. Ryan Johnson, we saw a driver who was very competent in these trucks, and Jensick catches the apron. Now Johnson looks to the inside. He smells blood in the water.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. You get your left sides right on that white line, and depending on how you hit it, it could push your truck up, it could make you loose, it could do a lot of things. So good thing that he didn't have anybody to his outside, and he was able to kind of correct it and slide back up without having to, hurt his truck as much as he did.
Yes, very fortunate for the positioning of his truck and the space he was given, but Kyle Gilbert, he lost the lead, but by no means is he laying over. He is shoving right through the tailgate of that number 29.
And as we're seeing, I mean, everybody kind of freight trained the 38 of Ryan Johnson on the outside there. And then just everybody shot back to the inside. So the multiple groove thing is definitely in play for this race.
And now you see Landon Lacey becoming a prominent player up front. Everybody taking charge. Everybody wants to get involved early here in stage number 2. In the top 5 under a blanket, Brummett drops down.
Again, as we've seen it the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I mean, very clean racing, very respectable. Everybody's giving each other room, but also not giving each other room. Everybody's getting that side draft, getting the runs, but I think they know well enough that, hey, we all want to be here at the end, so let's just keep it clean and drive each other like how we want to be drove.
Well, there it is. Kyle Gilbert back to the point now. Landon Lacey wants to get in on it. He's looking to the outside of the 29. He files back in line. Ryan Johnson tries to piece together what left of a run he has in that 38 machine as he was freight trained. As Landon mentioned, now Dean Brummett jumps out from behind the 38 truck. And now Landon Lacey in. Now Johnson's able to get back in line, but Lacey running that middle lane. Brummett trying to get down to the inside.
Yeah, and if I'm Ryan Johnson or Landon Lacey right now, I'm kind of mirror driving at the moment because you got 10 cars behind you, just all nose to tail, and they're looking for some.
Yeah, look at this. This is deep in the pack back here. Bradley Brandon, Jordan Sailors, Lane Hosler. I mean, this is dog eat dog world out here. Oh, contact there between the 79 of McAvoy and the 35 of Brandon. Everyone hold station. Everyone jostling, finding a place in line. Everyone trying to find a spot. Look, here's Herman and Balliet now. Cole Martin drops to the middle.
I'm kind of glad we're not out there, Emerson. This is
oh my goodness. This will be a lot to manage. This is the 3 wide back here for the 10th position. I'm sorry, this is the 14th position. Our point leader, Mark Morton, is in there. Oh, and around goes. Looks like that's 11 there. Branson, McCannon. And another truck involved. Bradley Brandon, one of our front runners.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that was one of those wrecks that you kind of saw coming a mile
Oh
away.
yeah.
And
Oh
they
my
were three
goodness.
wide going through the tri-oval. So, I mean, you can hold it, but when you're coming up to enter turn one, everybody tries to get that high arc, and there just wasn't enough room there.
That Yeah, that about sums it up. There just wasn't enough room. That was a lot of trucks all going for the same spot. We'll take a look at it here. Once again, here's the replay. And we saw a good bunch of it live. You see there, it looks like, what was that? Bradley Brandon just came up in front of Jordan Sailors.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, I mean, everybody wants to get that high arc, come up high, go low to get that run through the corner, and it looked like Bradley just misjudged it, didn't really realize that he was that close to him on the outside, and ended up getting the worst part of that. So that's real unfortunate for the 35 truck, but that's something that you kind of want to talk with your spotter and be like, hey, thought it was clear.
What happened out there, man? Unfortunately, another driver involved, and that was the 11 of Branson McCannon, an innocent bystander in this incident.
Yeah, and you can see he has no rear bumper, actually. That's what it looks like. So he must got hit pretty hard as well.
Yeah, Branson McCann, he was ran into from behind by that white and green truck, and just nowhere to go. No tailgate there, no right front bumper.
Yeah,
Big time impacts.
It's real unfortunate for the 11 truck. I mean, there's nothing he could do either way. He can't really help when there's somebody wrecking in front of you.
Try to see if we can get this one slowed down here, so kind of get a whole grasp of the situation. I want to also try to get an overhead view. Little hard to come about with one. There we go. We'll get one there. We'll slow it down. So again, you see, this is what I really want to see. The point of contact here. I think Bradley Brandon thinks he's clear, and Sailors is just still out there. Just barely, but he's still out there. And you know what? For real life spotters too, Landon, that's a very hard spot to spot at. That's right underneath your nose. It's hard to tell really if you're clear or not, especially right up against the fence. I think that was the 9 truck there that kind of got into the back there. Doc Holliday into the back of the 11 of McCannon. And again, just small multi-truck incidents. Nothing big yet this season, Landon.
Yeah, Emerson, and going back to that wreck, I mean, we've experienced it plenty, and people who have been on the sim have too. I mean, you're coming out of the tri-oval, getting ready to enter, turn one. You're hugging that outside wall, and me personally, I've been in plenty of situations where I've had somebody on the bottom, and they get close, So maybe Bradley was thinking, hey, I got somebody to my outside. Maybe he'll back off just a little bit because that wall comes up quick. And it just looks like, I mean, there was an inch, and that inch could have been good, and he could have been clear, and unfortunately that inch was not there. So very unfortunate. And I saw what happened to the 11, and he did look like he got tagged, but somebody, it looks like this, I didn't know who it was, but it was a green truck who tagged him again, and that's what sent him straight into the outside wall.
Yeah, that was Doc Holliday. So there's that. We're right on board with the 54 of Landon Lacey. It wasn't intending to, but the feed just took us there. We kind of heard he was saving fuel, and that's something we we try to never take for granted, right? iRacing, we see it in real life, right? Driver, as soon as yellow lights are flashing around the track, shut the engine off. Save that fuel. Never too early to start saving fuel.
No, absolutely not. And I mean, there's races you can win by saving, half a point of, fuel or half a lap of fuel. And I've been in plenty of those fuel mileage situations, and I've also been on the worst part of it. So as it's an instinct with us drivers. I mean, right when that yellow comes out, we're hitting the clutch. Engine's off, we're coasting. But I'm so surprised too. I mean, it's lap 48 out of 100. Stage is coming up here pretty soon.
Oh, we do have a second stage?
We probably don't. I probably just said that.
I don't think we do, but
if we don't, I mean, it's lap 48. I'm surprised we didn't really see that many people come down pit road. And and try to play a fuel mileage game. You can kind of cut it in half, do it on a 2-stop.
I think we did. I think it's just under the replays, but we did see a bunch of these guys come down pit lane on lap 45.
Okay, I might be mistaken. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. We're all learning kind of how everything is going here. We're trying to get a grasp for everything. This is, you know, a new leaf for us as it is for the series, and I think everyone's doing a good job of adapting to what is there.
This is only my 3rd broadcast ever. Bear with me.
I appreciate you joining me for them. As the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety in the pit lane, the hands in the field of Landon Lacey. Racing commences once again from Las Vegas. Trucks loose. The 31 of Dean Brummett, the 38 of Ryan Johnson went around. We saw the 84 of Michael York. He's down on the apron. A lot of drivers struggling for grip. We're 3 and 4 wide back here.
Hey, if you didn't think it, you'd think people were thinking it's the last lap as we're almost 4 wide here.
There we go again. Yeah, almost. Like Sailors, Johnson, Michael, and the point leader, Mark Morton, all want a piece of the action as 50 laps to go here at Las Vegas, halfway.
Yeah, we saw the 13 of Justin Michael have that incident and that wonderful save earlier in the race, and he battled his way back up to the, I believe, the 12th spot. So definitely on the move, and definitely somebody that we'd want to watch out for.
So as things calm down a little bit back there, Lacey is under attack from Kyle Gilbert. Gilbert to the outside, he roars to life. He wants a little help from the 29. Dean Brummett sticks his nose back in there, and Brummett trying to be a mainstay up front as well. Brummett slings that truck in line into the outside lane.
Yeah, these guys are experiencing some very interesting truck conditions at the moment. I mean, you see people getting loose, you see people sliding up. I mean, their trucks aren't liking themselves right now, and I believe, I mean, everybody pitted, so, I mean, those fresh tires will do that to you.
The dueling out in front, Gilbert and Lacey, side by side, Lacey with no obvious help. Jensic trying to give a boost to the 58, and here comes Kyle Westwood. Off the rear end of the number 54 truck.
If I'm Lacey right now, or Gilbert, I'm loving this. I'm loving the fresh, clean air up front. I'm not really loving the guy next to me, but I'm definitely loving the fresh air and the clean air, because at that point you're setting the stage for how your truck actually feels, and you know, you get the side draft and you have somebody beside you, but honestly, it doesn't make much of a difference. Yeah, he's there, but what matters is who's behind you and what's in front of you.
Yeah, still at it side by side. Nobody breaking away from one another. Out in front, Lacey, Gilbert. Row 2, Westwood, Jensic. Row 3, Johnson and Brummett. Landon, it's like 180-mile-an-hour pace laps out here.
And these guys are probably having a blast doing that. As you see the 58 give the bumper to the 54. Like, hey, why'd you slide up in front of me? We're racing.
You're right, but that does mean Lacey did officially clear that 58, and for a little bit, maybe you can take a breather, but here comes Gilbert down to the inside. He said, oh, we're not done battling yet.
He said, breather? No, I don't think so. I don't want to get these laps led, and also we got to take into effect, I mean, these guys have been pretty much the top two of the whole race, and
Absolutely.
there's also a bonus point for most laps led. So maybe maybe they got that in the back of their mind.
Uh-oh, contact! But they hold stations still. Gilbert bobbles, maybe contact from the 54, but they're still out in front, no problem. And now Westwood maybe wants to take it 3 wide. Is he able to get down there? Not yet.
Yeah, I'm keeping my eye on the 48 of Westwood. He's definitely got a very, very fast truck at the moment. And you can see him taking that shorter way around the track, hitting the apron, and it's actually giving him a really, really good run coming off the corner. But do you really want to put yourself in that 3 wide position going in a 1?
I don't know. Maybe you can get the other two to bobble and maybe be surprised that all of a sudden they're 3 wide into the corner, and maybe it works out. Or maybe you just experiment a little bit early in the race. I say early, but there's 42 laps to go. We're on the other side of halfway. Everybody running up on each other. Everyone is figuring out that these are stock cars, or I guess stock trucks, if you will, and they got fenders on them.
Oh, and by the way, we still need a pit again.
Oh yeah, we're not done.
No, we're not done, but this race is closing quick. So if you're in the back right now, you're kind of like, okay, what's the strategy? What do I want? Do I want a short pit? What's the plan? Because I mean, with everybody running side by side right here, I mean, it's really hard to pass, especially coming from the back.
By the way, look at that right side, Landon. 24th is less than 2 seconds back. We have a 24 truck pack, all grouped up here, nearly all double wide. This is something else.
Yeah, I just saw the 30 of Ryan Johnson. Looks like he gave the 48 of Westwood a break right there, because it looked like Westwood kind of cut his nose off a little bit. But again, just class act from these guys, giving each other some room. If you dump somebody and you don't want to hear him in the holler, you definitely don't.
Everyone all packed up, everyone all playing nice for now, Landon. But that's because there's still 40 laps to go. We still have a pit stop. How long will these guys play nice?
And I think that's a question that everybody's asking. I mean, we're going to see green flag pit stops, and then it's everybody for themselves after that, because everybody's going to be spread out. And
so we think.
So we
We're
think.
not sure.
I just don't know if we're going to see a big pack come down just like we did at Daytona. But I mean, this pit road is a lot more tough than Daytona.
That's for sure. It's on the other side of the corner, man. That is tough.
And the banking is rough here as well.
Oh yeah, 24 degrees to 0.
You hit that banking and your car's going sideways, especially on old tires. So it's going to be interesting to see how many people come down at once. But I think these guys are professional. I think they got it.
Still, this battle for the lead between Landon Lacey and Kyle Vincent Gilbert rages on out in front, Landon. And we're talking about a battle that has gone on 15 laps.
Yeah, I think these guys are comfortable with each other now. They're just like, hey, I take the lead a couple laps, and then you take the lead. I mean, it's just back and forth. And I don't think they're teammates, so there's definitely no communication going on between them. Like, hey, let's just control the front. But if that's what they got planned in their head, they're doing a really good job of it.
Fantastic stuff. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. And I think this series right here, Landon, this is a sweet spot when it comes to driver I rating. I don't think it's too high where I think egos get involved. I don't think it's too low where, there's still, some learning to be done by some of these drivers. I mean, of course, everyone's learning on the sim, right? Nobody's, there's nobody in here that is on Casey Kerwin's level. But what I'm saying is, this is a well-rounded group of drivers. I think that can provide this kind of racing weekly. Very clean, very competitive racing.
Absolutely, Emerson. And we look at the series, we have the B trucks on Tuesdays, which is basically a series where you're making a name for yourself. We see that a lot in the Xfinity series and the truck series in real life. And that's where you want to run good, race clean, make sure that, you get on TV and have a shot. You know, get your name known. The A trucks this series. I mean, this is for the people that are, hey, I got skill. I'm ready. Let's win some races. You know, and then we get up to the Xfinity series, and that's where you're like, okay, totally different car, different setups. Let's use my skill set to try to operate this car and get up there. So we all, you know, you may look at it and be like, oh, two truck series, it's the same thing. It's really not. Absolutely not. It's completely different. And as you can tell, I mean, if anybody watched last night's race, it was phenomenal. And they're racing, I mean, I think they were racing a little harder than what they are now. And it was a clean race last night. And as we're seeing right now, it's a super clean race with very hard racing.
Absolutely. And again, nothing to discredit, you know, anybody. You know, everyone is good drivers in their own right. Or else I feel like you probably wouldn't spend as much money as you would on iRacing unless you are trying to get better, which is another thing, right? Even if you're not at that level, right? But you're putting that commitment to get better. It is a very commendable thing to see. And I think that a lot of the B truck drivers, if they recognize that, that's great. Use that as that stepping stone to get better. Find, you know, a little bit better competition and keep... Not compare yourself, because I don't think you should be comparing yourself to everyone, but you know, find other benchmarks without, you know, in the field. Like if you're running 15th every week, see what 12th place is doing. You know, see if there's a little thing that they're doing that, you know, they're consistently just ahead of you, and they continue to pick up from there.
Yeah, you can't really explain it better than that. I mean, it's really not about, hey, I'm better than you. It's absolutely not like that. It's you're running a series, you're doing the best you can, you have a certain skill set that you think you have and that you know you have, and somebody else may have a, you know, a higher skill set that they think that they have. So it's more of just like, hey, this guy is, like what Emerson said, I mean, you're running 15th, you want to run 12th. Do what he's doing. You know, take some notes. What line is he running? What is that? And then once you figure that out, then you keep working your way up. And then next thing you know, you're running Wednesday trucks. With a higher, you know, with a higher kind of, I want to say, not skill set, but, you know, kind of like a base percentage of, hey, these guys are all, you know, nose to tail, you know, winning.
Oh, we got contact! Oh, no! That's Kyle Van Gilbert! Kyle Vincent Gilbert, the front runner of the day, has gone around. And we got another one around. That's Sean Jensick.
Oh, no, not the two.
Bobby Anderson.
Bobby Anderson's involved.
Oh, my goodness. A lot of front runners involved in this one. And trouble strikes in the late going here at Las Vegas. And we'll try to piece this one together and figure out what happened here.
Looks like the 58 doesn't really have that much damage to his truck, so he might be okay, but kind of interested to see what's going on.
See, Kyle Vincent Gilbert got back to the lead. Lacey lost the lead. And something happened here. Oh, this is the wrong one. My apologies. This is the caution before that we're watching here. Let's go ahead and get the right one going for you guys. So we catch it a little late there, but it looks like contact between Vincent Gilbert and Jensick, and a lot of the field trying to duck and dive their way around that one. Try to get one more look at it. Catching it too late.
Looks like the replays aren't really on our side right now.
A little hard to get this one queued up here.
Yeah, everything happened just so fast, so it bear with us.
Alright, so here we go. We'll be able to get a little bit of a better look at it here. This looks like this is Lacey and Vincent Gilbert going at it here off of turn number 2. Try to see if we can get an overhead look at it here. Actually, this looks like the lap prior. So we'll be able to get a look at it overhead and see the whole lap then while we're at it. But Kyle Vincent Gilbert, Sean Jensick, Ryan Johnson, all behind the 54 truck of Landon Lacey here.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if the 58 kind of slid up a little bit and really didn't think it was clear enough, but doesn't look like it's this one either.
Oh, okay, so it'll be the next lap then. But it is for sure this range. And they were very spread out, so I was very shocked to see that an incident occurs out of this. But one does unfortunately come about.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if the 58 thought he had a... I don't know, I guess we'll see.
Here we go, the 58 there on the bottom. And he gets the wall. Oh no, and just nowhere to go. Clips, Jensick, they both go around. And how does Bobby Anderson get in this one? Oh no! Somebody just plowed into the 29. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now I think we'll be able to line it up a little bit better here. Let's see if we can see what happened to the 29 machine. So here we go. Well, we saw the initial contact, of course. But we'll see if we can get a look at who clipped the 29. So here, Kyle Gilbert there on the inside. He's running that inside. He's trying to get some clean air. But unfortunately, the truck just tightens up on those very old tires. And he just plows into the outside wall. So here now we're watching the 29 truck, which is the truck now spinning middle of your screen. Just misses the 48. Looks like he misses the 51. And looks like it's going to be the 85 of Brad Herman. No, he misses him. Somebody's just going to fly in here. Nowhere to go. Oh, it's Cole Martin. Oh, no, man. Nowhere to go for that 51.
Yeah, and Bobby's just an innocent
Same
bystander.
thing.
I mean, he can't do anything when he's got trucks in the
Doc
outside
Holliday into the back of the 47 as well. Now this is our big one on the season.
Man,
Lane Doyle involved.
yeah,
My
that's
goodness.
interesting. It just looked like the Kyle Westwood just, I don't know. I mean, his car got really, really tight, it looked like, and it just shot up straight into the wall, and he had it saved, and unfortunately just got tangled with Sean Jensick there. And for a second, they looked like they both escaped with minimum damage, and I think Westwood did. Actually, is that Westwood? I don't think that is
It's
Westwood.
Kyle Vincent Gilbert.
Kyle Gilbert, yeah, sorry about that. He looked like he might be okay, but Sean Jensick just got clobbered at the end.
Here we go. Just one more look at it.
It's the two yellow trucks, I'm sorry. They look identical.
Somehow Westwood just barely misses Jensick. And it's the 58 who slides down to the inside.
Emerson, you mind if we go on board with the 85 of Brad Herman?
Herman? He missed it.
He missed it like real close.
I think actually we're getting back to the race right here. Racing once again from Las Vegas. It's Landon Lacey, the one out in front. As the field just gets up to that fourth gear. Cole Martin, Dean Brummett, Ryan Johnson, the top four. Uh-oh, and around now goes Westwood, around the 48 machine. Looks like he saves it, but the caution's gonna come out. And it's Kyle Vincent Gilbert again.
Man, what a tough break. Two in a row.
The dominant truck of the day. Oh my goodness. I mean, when it rains, it pours for this kid, man. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he was part of that first incident, so you're kind of back in the pack somewhere in very unfamiliar territory, where you haven't been all race. So you're definitely racing with a bunch of different guys now, and everybody's just going for the same thing, and that's the lead. So it's just people not giving enough room and everybody getting loose.
Oh, it looks like Balliet got into the 48, and then the point leader gets turned around. Balliet comes down, clips another truck, and it's Kyle Gilbert just taking a big hit to the inside wall.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of hurt trucks on that one. Everybody got a lot of front end damage from that.
Goodness gracious, man. Try to slow this one down and analyze it a little bit more. We'll get this one overhead. And Westwood just gets loose. Looks like in front of Balliet. Balliet has nowhere to go. Runs into the back of the 48. And now you're looking for the point leader there in the 8 of Mark Morton. He gets into the back of the 7. Michael York, looks like the 84 doesn't have anywhere. And then this blue truck just plows in from out of nowhere. Oh my goodness. That's Jordan Sailors. No brakes into that one. Just happened so quick. Looks like the 77 of Michael Politis gets clipped in that one. And then there's Kyle Gilbert on the right side of your screen. Just absolutely eats straight concrete down there.
Yeah, and that's what you call an accordion effect. I mean, you saw Gilbert get loose and get tagged by the 7 of Balliet, and then Morton kind of tagged Balliet. So it's just one of those things where you can't really, you're in the spot where you can't really do anything, and then everybody around him, it's really, with the smoke and everything, you can't see.
We'll see this one in real time overhead. There you go, a bunch of it. Like a 6 truck incident in that one?
Yeah, I think that actually is the biggest wreck we've had, and it looks a lot worse when you have it at real time.
See if we can get a view of Jordan Sailors is on board there and see just how quickly things happen. On board with the 39 of Jordan Sailors. I mean, there's only 4 trucks. There's not enough time for him to avoid that one, man.
No, there's no way he could have avoided that unless, the truck separated and there was a way for him to go straight through, but just nowhere he could have gone right there.
Well, a little bit more of a chaotic and destructive day here in Las Vegas. But we do have our 5th caution period of the day. We're going to take a moment and give a shout out to our partners. Our partner Butt Kicker here at Speed Racing Network. Don't you go anywhere. Welcome back, race fans, to the virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We're here getting ready for our 5th restart of the day. 6th time we'll see a green flag tonight. Our 5th caution of the night, 4 for incident, 1 for the stage break. It's Landon Lacey, the driver out in front, and we have, looks like it'll be 21 laps to go when we get down to it. And so, VIRacing.com safe vehicle will make that hard left-hand turn into the safety of pit lane. The field back in the hands of Landon Lacey, and racing will restart here from Las Vegas. 20 laps to go. 3 wide for the race lead. Cole Martin, Dean Brummett to the outside of Lacey. Lacey powers it into the corner. He holds station up front.
It's 20 to go, Emerson. It's go time, and these guys don't even have to worry about pitting again because they're good on fuel, so it is time to go.
Absolutely. Your friends are where you find them, or in this case, you have no friends. You're going straight to the front. Everyone's beds are made, and you're just running your own race now. This set of tires, this is what you're bringing back to the checkers or bringing back to the garage.
Absolutely, and we got Dean Brummett going for the lead here.
Here
and
he
how
goes.
about Justin Michael back up in the top 5? I mean, what a rebound for him.
Yeah, had that early mishap on that 13 machine. He's able to claw back inside the top 10. Lacey has to fight hard on the outside of Brummett. Johnson giving a boost to the 54. Brad Herman up here wants a piece of the action. And you mentioned Herman just narrowly avoided that incident earlier that brought up the 4th caution. I know we didn't get to get a look at it, Landon, but what did you see?
Very heads-up work. I saw that. I mean, there's guys wrecking in the inside of him, outside of him, and he kept it clean. So good to see him back up, you know, not get any damage out of that, and actually up here in the top 3. So definitely Brad Herman's one of the guys that you got to watch out for. He's definitely fast and definitely knows how to use his head when it comes down to the ends of these races.
The cream rises to the top in these late race occasions, and you look at the names, some of the mainstays here in SRN, the highlights, you know, of the point standings in past seasons. Dean Brummett and Landon Lacey, Brian Johnson and Cole Martin up here, Hosler and McAvoy, they're in 8th and 9th, and then you have the newer names, the drivers who maybe have been on iRacing for a while but haven't been in SRN, like Justin Michael. A lot of these guys all coming together now, even though in a plate race style track, it is a 1.5 miles, and there's still a good bit of skill involved. It is the most skillful ones that you could at least think of when it comes to this league. They're the ones up front right now.
Absolutely, and they're the guys that keep their truck clean, and they made sure that they had their stuff ready for the end. I mean, as we're looking here, we got McAvoy and we got Purnell and Hosler. I mean, those are guys that we know have been in SRN for a few seasons, and them showing up at the end of this race when maybe they weren't, you know, in the top 10 for half of it, definitely puts a statement on that. And Purnell's one of those guys. I mean, going to Purnell, I mean, he was in the top 5 in points pretty much all last season in the trucks, so definitely good to see him running up there where he belongs. And Dean Brummett, Landon Lacey. Dean Brummett's coming back from you know, I want to say, I think he took a season off, and he won
at least one. Same thing with Lacey.
He won Daytona, and Landon Lacey's a guy that we definitely all know in the SRN series, but he also took a break, and they're just picking up where they left off.
Yeah, seems to be no rust there out of those two. Some great weeks for them to come back on. Daytona and Vegas to start the season, but Landon, we're staying out on the West Coast. We're heading to Sonoma next week. Oh, we got a battle for lead. More on that later. The 54, Lacey drops down to the inside of Brummett.
And they just switched. You know, Lacey was on the outside and Brummett was on the inside, and they just switched positions. So
I guess that has been the way things have gone so far today. But now 12 laps to go. You fight just that little bit harder. Use up that little bit more grip. Knowing that you're at that point of no return. You just gotta send it. Cole Martin bobbles. 3 wide. Justin Michael trying to send it up the middle. Herman goes for the block. Now 3 wide for 3rd. Michael in the middle of Johnson and Herman. And 3 wide behind. Purnell in the middle of Hosler and McAvoy. I'm sorry, Martin.
yeah, Emerson, we're starting to see. I mean, we're within 10 to go now, and we're starting to see some power moves. People saying,
aggression.
okay, the aggression. It is time to go. Let's make it 3 wide if we have the chance to. And as you can see there, Justin Michael just powered his way through. You know, he didn't move anybody out of the way. He just stuck his nose in and made it stick. And look, he's up to 3rd. So it's just, if you're Dean Brummett or you're Landon Lacey, you're not really banking on who's the better pusher because the two guys behind you are phenomenal as it is.
It's about the right scenario, putting yourself in the right position, getting the right run off the corner at the right time. And with 10 laps to go, this time it'll be 9 laps to go from Sin City. And it's now Johnson looking back to the outside of the 13 machine. And now 3 wide for second as Brummett now heads them all.
Yeah, and if I'm Dean Brummett, actually, you know, going back to what I said about having whoever is behind you push you, I mean, Dean Brummett and Justin Michael are teammates, and as you can see, they kind of switch positions there. So if I'm Dean Brummett, I'm like, okay, I want my teammate behind me.
Well, he gets that wish for now. Contact between Johnson and Michael. They hold serve. Michael tries to go low. Lacey drops down a little lower.
Yeah, and you can tell Justin Michael is using all the track right there, and he has every right to. I mean, we were within 8 to go. You know, he's keeping it clean, not running into them, but he's also using all the track. So definitely one of the more strategic plays right there because you kind of want to get them out of their rhythm. But I mean, it's pros do that.
Absolutely, and then we got a bunch up here. Johnson now filling up the rear view mirror of Brummett while trying to fight to the outside of Lacey. And we got lap traffic up here. Looks like lap traffic plays nice. Brummett clears. Now Johnson up to second. Lacey back to third. Michael fourth. Hosler fifth. Martin, Herman, Purnell, Westwood, and McAvoy to top 10.
3 different drivers, 3 different teams. I mean, they're all going for the same real estate, and I don't think anybody's going to help each other as you think they would. So, I mean, it's anybody's race at this point.
So now Brummett clears everyone and gets to run the line he wants to. The dueling now happens back here between Herman and Cole Martin. Helping our way back, we look at drivers like Branson McCann involved in incidents earlier on. He's back in 15th. See Tyler Markle back here in 18th. Schaefer, 19th. Bradley Brandon, Sean Jensick. Joshua Balliet. Some rough goings back there. Just a quick view of what's going on behind as 4 laps to go in the front of the field is single file.
Yeah, if you're Dean Brummett right now, you're like, okay, I need to stick to this outside lane because you can get that run off. And as you can see, the Ryan Johnson actually peeking to the inside to get that lead. But if you're, like I said, if you're Dean Brummett, you want to stick to the outside because, yeah, you're going to have Ryan Johnson get to the inside and kind of clear you on the corners, but you come right back on the back. Or on the front and the back. So it just, as of right now, I mean, I was going to say it just depends on who Landon Lacey goes with, but you can see Justin Michael peaking as well. So this is, like I said, this is anybody's race at this moment.
This is going to be a good one for sure. That's what I know. And it's Dean Brummett with the power push from Landon Lacey out in front. This time by the stripe Landon. 2 laps to go, 3 miles to settle it here in Vegas. And who will get here first? 2 to go. Brummett out in front. Lacey and Johnson duel for second. And now, just when you think it's the time to go, everyone singled it out except Johnson. Everyone's playing the mind games right now. But is it too late for those aggressive moves? Brummett trying to go back to back and trying to go 2 for 2.
Yeah, I think what Ryan Johnson's hoping for right now is he's hoping that Dean Brummett can actually kind of go to the inside a little bit, give him that draft just to keep it there because the side draft is helping just enough. As you can see, Ryan Johnson kind of squeak in just a little bit, but Justin Michael's on the outside as well trying to take that spot away.
Lacey clears the second as the white flag. 1 lap to go from Sin City. Now Lacey out around goes Justin Michael behind. But here's the battle for the win. A big wreck behind. behind, and it's dueling it out side by side for the race lead. Lacey and Brummett. Ryan Johnson will have a say in the action. Lacey washes up the track. Brummett keeps his foot down, and it's going to be the drag race to the line. Lacey blocks her second, but Dean Brummett will go back to back in the opening weeks of the Speed Racing Network Glytch Truck Series.
A finish. Are we going to say that each race? Wow. Wow. Congratulations.
Oh my goodness.
2 in a row.
2 in a row for Dean Brummett. And how about a heck of a job? Lacey raced it hard, but he didn't wreck him. Johnson kept his foot in it. They had a piece of the action there for second, but it's all at a 31 of Dean Brummett. Playing it just right tonight. And I know this man is excited.
You know, last week he apologized for not having the right car and the right number, but I don't think it matters what kind of luck the car brings, because he's back in victory lane.
That's for sure. And he'll be worthy of celebration here on the front straightaway for that number 31 machine. How about it, man? Just a great, great showing. And of course, Dean Brummett just knows how to get it done here in Speed Racing Network. He has for so long, and he continues to do so.
Yeah, and this win wasn't, you know, one of those wins like, oh, okay, he got lucky. No, he was up there the whole race. And I believe he started on pole as well. Actually, no, Bobby Anderson started on pole, but he was up there in the top 3, I believe, for the start. So he was up there all race, kept it clean.
He started second.
Started second, did what he needed to do, and look at he back in victory lane. So that's all in all, I would call that a perfect night. Got a lap led, got that bonus point, won the race, started in the top 3. Pretty good evening here in Las Vegas.
I'd say so, Landon. Well, Landon, last week I interviewed the race winner, and typically the lead does interview the race winner, but I already interviewed him last week. I'll hand him to you this time.
Oh, that sounds good. Hey, Dean Brummett, winner of at the famous Las Vegas Motor Speedway. You get a copy?
I got a copy, guys. What's up?
How's it going? You 2 in a row.
2 in a row, and hey, we actually had the right truck this week, so the team owner may not yell at me.
Man, what a dominant performance by you today. I mean, you started second and got yourself a lap led, you know, multiple laps led, and ended up winning the race. I mean, how awesome is this? How are you feeling, you know, leading? I mean, I know it's only the second race in the season, but you're 2 for 2.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you got 2 tracks that are very aero dependent in Daytona and Las Vegas. Daytona is a little different just because it turned into such a fuel mileage race, and you don't burn the tires off as bad there. Stage 1, just kind of sent it as hard as we could and said, hey, let's see what tire wear looks like. And with about 7-8 laps to go in stage 1, the tires just started falling off, the right front especially. You get in these trucks and you get low, like you lose momentum, you're done. And a lot of those guys saved tires early, and I think I finished 6th, 7th, 8th, whatever it was in stage 1, and just kind of watched what they were doing, saw how they were able to really drive away at the end, and said, okay, well, you know, let's drive just a little easier, save a little right front, and hopefully be able to make some speed in that same period. And cautions kept coming and coming, and fuel strategy inevitably went out the window. And I was telling Landon Lacey and Ryan Johnson, I said, I hate racing the way I had to race there at the end, because I mean, I was just throwing blocks, putting the truck where normally it wouldn't have gone, and just had to kill momentum for everybody else and keep my momentum rolling. And by the time it was over said and done with, I had just enough track position, just enough space, and managed to get done what we needed to do.
Absolutely, and again, congratulations. I mean, that's 2 for 2. I mean, that's kind of hard to do, and I mean, Daytona is Daytona, and this is Vegas. But I know you mentioned it's very aerodynamic, and we even the viewers saw it as well. I mean, is it full throttle through the whole corner, or you have to? I know you mentioned that the tires kind of gave up a little bit, with 8 to go, but how much throttle are you putting into the corner?
It's darn near full throttle. The setup tonight was just a little tight. Right front didn't want to turn too well. So as for me, because now the race is over and I can give some of my secrets away, I was trying to just use a very minute amount of brake, because when you've got the right front that hot, you want to try and put some of the strain more on the right rear to help kind of free it up a little bit. And I didn't get to do that in stage 1, and definitely didn't get to do it there in the last 25 laps, but that 50 laps in the middle there, that's kind of how I was running, and just saying, hey, I don't need to be in the lead. I just need to be near the front. So yeah, like I said, if that would have come down, we would have had a caution late, it would have been nothing but full throttle. Kind of flashing back, I missed Ryan early in the race. He got real loose on a restart on cold tires, and how I missed him is still beyond me. Missed a big wreck down the back stretch, and like I said, just sometimes you got to be lucky, sometimes you got to be good. And I've fortunately had a great group of guys with Elite Performance Industries, and teaching me how to drive these things a little better. And Jonathan Byer Racing, great teammates over there. And like I said, just glad to be on board. And it's awesome to be 2 races in. I'm gonna try to go 3 for 3 next week. We'll load up and head back out west for sure.
Well, you definitely took the big bucks here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, here in the Gamble City. That's what they call it, pretty much.
But Sun City, yeah.
Dean, I mean, I know you mentioned Jonathan Byer Racing and EPI. Is there any other buddy that you want to shout out, that some viewers or any other sponsors?
Yeah, anybody who was viewing tonight, definitely want to thank you for your support. Thank you to my buddy Brandon Browning. Always cheers me on. He's real good friends with Landon Lacey too. My parents for watching, my wife absolutely for watching and letting me go and do this. Got a whole slew of great partners over at Jonathan Byer Racing, between Bolify, and thanks for Glytch Energy for coming on to sponsor the series. Z Grill, Select Blinds, Club Glove, Fantasy Guru, got Allison Racing Parts, NordVPN, Durango Boots, Rocky Boots, AAA Insurance, K&N air filters. I mean, if they exist, they pretty much are on this truck in some way, shape, or form. Like I said, definitely want to apologize to the team owner last week for running my favorite paint scheme ever, but definitely want to tell them thank you for this awesome paint scheme tonight with Extreme Sim TV on the side. And if any viewers are out there looking to be a part of Jonathan Byer Racing, not to sound too arrogant, I have gone 100% this season. I would love to have you on board. It seems like it'd be a good investment.
Well, there you go, guys. Dean Brummett, your winner here in the Sin City of Las Vegas. Emerson, I'm sorry I'm taking up all the mic, but you got anything you wanted to add?
Nah, man, I think we're gonna see Dean Brummett a lot here this season, so I think I'll save it for whenever we see him next, man. But Dean, congratulations once again. Glad to have you back here in SRN. Yeah, you're just a great person to have around, man. Congratulations on going back to back. Best luck to you next week at the Roadie in Cali.
Hey, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Y'all have a great evening.
There it is, driver of the number 31, Dean Brummett, rolling out into EPI victory lane this evening. We'll go ahead and bring up driver of the number 54, second place finisher tonight, Landon Lacey. And Landon, man, that was a hard-fought battle all day long with the 31 of Dean Brummett. Landon, I guess I have to ask, what more could you have done differently, man?
I needed more help when I was on the bottom. He had a lot of help with the 85 of Brad Herman when he was on the bottom, and it just seemed like when I got to the bottom, nobody else could hold it down there with me, and I just quite couldn't get enough. I couldn't quite clear him on the exits to get up in front of him. And then I lost the spot to the 38 and had to get that back. And by that time, I really didn't have the tires left to do anything with him. I'd kind of use them up, trying to get back by him on the bottom. So, first race back with SRN, and get a second place finish. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, man. Of course, we saw you on the roster before the season started, and we saw you run the duel. Unfortunately, you ended up missing last week, but I will say now, after your first points start, man, what brings you back? And I think I asked you that to do anyway, but I'll ask you again. What brings you back here now? Maybe we have some different views for the points race. And what are your goals now this season? Starting off with a second place finish. I think it's a pretty good start. Podium percentage 100.
Yeah, I was, first of all, I was invited to come back. I was provided a good opportunity to run with a good team with Tank Racing. There's a lot of great guys in here. It's a bunch of top talent guys that are really hard to beat week in and week out. My goal is just to do what I did when I was here before, is just be consistent as I can, get the best possible finishes that I can. That way we can, be in the points race at the end of the season and just be there when it counts.
Now, I gotta ask, we got a roadie very early in the season. I'm talking as soon as our next time out. We're heading up to Northern California and Sonoma, the short layout as well. Tell us about how you feel there and what do you think about your chances?
I love road courses. Sonoma's not typically, since if you told me we were going to Watkins Glen next week now, or even better, the Roval, I'd be absolutely excited. But Sonoma, it's really hard in the truck. The truck has no grip there whatsoever. A lot of tire spin on corner exits. You really got to take care of the rears. It's all about your entries and your exits. And it's just overall, can you be smooth and keep it on the racetrack? So, still looking forward to it. Road courses again are very strong for me. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, there you are, Landon Lacey. After a great run in the duel, fails to make last week's season opener at Daytona, but he'll back it right up, coming home second place tonight here in Sin City. Congratulations on the podium tonight, Landon. Best luck to you next time out at Sonoma.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
And that was driver of the number 54, Landon Lacey. The other Landon Cardullo. I got driver of the number 38, third place finisher, Ryan Johnson, standing by with you.
Hey, Ryan, it's Landon up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, what's up, old friend?
Hey, Ryan, congratulations on the P3 finish tonight. Definitely we're up there the whole race. It just looked like you didn't really have the help to kind of get, where you needed to be on that inside lane with that last couple of laps. How'd the truck feel, and how's the overall race?
Overall, it wasn't too bad. Yeah, we got kind of stuck there at the end. I didn't mean to go underneath, and as soon as I did, I'm like, uh-oh. And then everyone moved up, and I didn't know if nobody wanted to work with me or if they were all just smart not to follow me. But yeah, it didn't work at the end. It was a fun race, though, honestly. Overall, the truck would get pretty tight, like in traffic, after probably about 10-15 laps, and it got really difficult. But I felt like we were able to save tires. If we would have had a longer green flag run, I think it could have came alive a little more. But yeah, overall a decent night. We stayed out of trouble and came home with a good finish.
Yeah, definitely. And last week we saw you kind of have at Daytona. We saw you kind of get shuffled out with a couple laps to go and didn't really have a drafting partner. But bringing it back here and kind of making it up with a P3 finish. And I know you personally. We've raced together, and you're definitely fast. So, how's how was your mindset going into these next couple races? As we mentioned, next week we have a road course within Sonoma, and as SRN, we've never been there before. So it's definitely a new track. So how is your take on that, and how are you gonna kind of try to conquer that?
Well, I'm gonna need a lot of practice. Yeah, I don't think I've ran trucks on Sonoma either. That's going to be a very interesting race. I think qualifying is going to be huge because it's probably going to be very difficult to pass unless somebody screws up there. So yeah, I'll just need a bunch of practice. I'm just kind of feeling it out at first. You know, first couple races of every season, everyone's getting to know each other. You're learning, you know, who does what and how they are, how they race, and that's all I'm kind of doing right now. Like that was a lot of tonight. I found out a lot of people I think that are pretty decent, and we were able to give a lot of room, take a lot of room tonight. And around me, it didn't seem like, you know, we had any bad blood. It was a lot of fun. So looking forward to it. The trucks on road courses I think are pretty fun, but it's got to be the right road course. So I don't know how Sonoma fits into that yet.
Yeah, no, I I agree with you. And being up in I'm glad I'm in the booth next week, or instead of being out on the track, because again, we've never been there in the league, so definitely going to be fun. And again, congratulations on the podium P3 finish. Is there anybody watching or any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. I just want to thank all the admins at SRN keeping it going. You guys are broadcasting. Glytch is the title sponsor. Gear Up, all my teammates, everybody over there. Full Capacity Fire, Midnight Express, Gear Up Apparel, Gabriel Sports Car, Franklin Motorsports, Eon's Motorsports, Gear Up Motorsports, and all my family, friends, everybody tuning in and watching, mom, girlfriend. I'm sorry, that is a huge list. Hopefully I can compress that in the future.
Hey, you can thank as many people as you want. I mean, they're there to support you, so that's all that matters. But before I let you go, Emerson, is there anything that you got anything?
Not really, man. I had the opportunity to race with Ryan last season. I know how great of a driver he is. He puts on display here in the trucks once again. I get to watch it week in, week out, Ryan. So I have no doubt I'll be talking to you a little bit more throughout the season, Ryan. Congratulations on your podium, brother, and best luck to you next week at Sonoma.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. A couple of old buddies up here.
All right, man. So that was our third place finisher, driver of the number 38, Ryan Johnson, bringing it home to complete our podium this evening, Landon. And a very, very fun podium to talk to. Again, three very experienced drivers. And that's not exactly the podium I had in mind when we head to a track when it comes to, some sort of luck. I wouldn't say Las Vegas is always a luck-based track, but definitely it is with the package we have in the truck series, similar to a plate race. But a great show once again. This time a little bit more chaotic, Landon, but nonetheless, it was a show for us and for all of you viewers at home. We did have some race results to go over tonight, Landon, so we'll quickly go through those. And of course, it was Dean Brummett, our race winner this evening in the number 31 machine. To his outside. Second place finisher, driver of the number 54, Landon Lacey tonight. Finishing third, Ryan Johnson and the 38 machine. Fourth will be Lane Hosler. Fifth, Brian McAvoy. Kyle Westwood finishes sixth. Brad Herman comes from seventh. Doc Holliday, a nice top 8 for him. Michael York, 9. Austin Purnell will round out the top 10. Landon, take us through 20th.
Perfect. In 11th, we got Byron McDonald. 12th, Gerald Poole. 13th, Branson McCannon. 14th, Craig Schroeder. And 15th, Alb Hewins. In 16th, we got Cole Martin. 17th, Tyler Markle. 18th, Bobby Anderson. We saw him get a little scuffed up there in that one wreck, but good rebound. 19th, Reese Schaefer, another one who had not the night that he wanted, but again, top 20, so that's a lot you can ask for. And then rounding up, actually the top 20 is Sean Jensick.
All right, and we're looking at 21st position here on back. 21st, we got the number 29 of Lane Doya. 22nd, we have Bradley Brandon. 23rd, it'll be Joshua Balliet. 24th, Justin Michael. 25th, Jordan Sailors. A little bit of heartbreakers there, as all of those guys had some fast machines tonight. That rounds out the lead. Lab, Michael Politis, and Gabriel Ellison are two drivers one lap down. Point leader Mark Morton has a rough showing today. Will more than likely lose that point lead as a result of that race. Finishing in 28th, Kyle Gilbert. Man, that might be the heartbreak of the day, Landon. This driver dominated the early stages, won B stage, and it was all for naught, getting caught up in 2 big incidents towards the end. Devin Zimmerman running out our 30 truck field tonight. Now, we did have some chaos go on there at the inland, and I think we do owe these viewers at least a couple views of that wild accident that took place on the back straightaway. So we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at it. I think Michael and Balliet, drivers involved in that one.
Yeah,
so here it is.
Yeah, as you can see, everybody's just fighting for the same real estate.
And the truck's in the wall. Everyone's going everywhere. Michael pals it off the inside wall, man. Big hit. And I mean, we had calamity on the back straightaway. We'll get another look at it. Let's see if we can get an overhead view of this one, because this one was a big wreck. So there it is. I mean, like you said, Landon, last lap, everyone's going for everything right. And Herman gets into the back of the 13. The 48 piles through, clips the 13 to 51, comes back down the track. I actually thought that wreck was bigger. There might have been more behind. I guess not.
It looked big.
It did, I guess, at the angle of the back straightaway, but I guess it was only those 2. But one more view of it, just because it was wild in its own right.
Yeah, and what an absolute heartbreak for the 13 of Justin Michael. I know we saw in the beginning of the race, he got tangled up, ended up saving his truck, but he was in the back. Worked his way up back to the top 5, you know, within 10 to go, and was there racing for the win, and then unfortunately just got tagged there. And it's a racing incident and nobody to blame. Everybody's going for spot points, everything like that. But right here, right when he hits that inside wall, is just the killer.
And hit.
Yeah, and like I say this every week when we see these wrecks, I'm just glad this isn't real life, because that would hurt.
Absolutely. Well, Landon, a great showing for us tonight here in Las Vegas. I don't think it could have gone any better. We got wild racing. We got some crashes this week for some of those who were missing out on that last week, and then a great finish between 3 very good drivers. Dean Brummett goes back to back. Lacey and Johnson round out the podium. Landon, I don't know if there's a better way to cap off the show, but any final thoughts from you before we head to Sonoma?
I just want to again say, like, congratulations to Dean Brummett on 2 for 2, and just a round of applause for these guys. Again, I mean, 3 races in a row. We had the duels, we had the season opener, and then we had this race, and it's just been all phenomenal. And definitely being up here in the broadcast booth is a lot of fun, you know, broadcasting and talking on these guys, because there's just so much action and it's a lot to cover. So I don't think there's anything bad that happened in this race. And again, the cautions that we did have, it wasn't due to lack of respect. It was everybody's racing for the same thing, and all of it was a racing incident. So again, round of applause for everybody, and can't wait for next week, because we're going to see a lot of different things go on.
Absolutely, and I think that'll do it from Sin City here tonight. I want to thank you all for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Make sure you check out Speed Racing Network on all of their social media platforms. Of course, the Facebook page at facebook.com/Speed Racing Network, our Twitter at Speed Racing Net, our Instagram, of course, at Speed Racing Network, our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Speed Racing Network, our Twitch at twitch.tv/Speed Racing Net. LinkedIn, of course, linkedin.com/company/Speed Racing Network. Landon, can you update us? Are we on Threads?
We are not, but we are going to be.
Okay,
not
we'll
yet.
make it over to Threads in a bit.
Yeah, I just want to give a huge shout out to Glytch for coming on board this series. They're such a huge part of this league, and make sure you go out to Glytch and use code SRN10 for 10% off any order. Also, our main sponsors, Z Grills, Fiverr as well. They sponsor the other series. Butt Kicker for producing our commercials. EPI for the Victory Lane. Select Blinds for coming in and helping us with our replays. Without them, we couldn't show you, what's going on within the race. So they're a huge help. For the admin box as well, use code SRN BOX, BOXX for 10% off.
Absolutely, hit them all there. And of course, don't forget the big boss website, speedracingnetwork.com, for all of your SRN needs. So you got, of course, series updates and points and all that jazz. You won't want to miss it there. But I think that'll do it for all here at Speed Racing Network. Landon Cardillo alongside myself, Emerson Arden tonight. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll either see you tomorrow night for the Z-Grills Xfinity Series here in Las Vegas, or next Wednesday night for the Glytch Truck Series in Sonoma, California.